Considering that some students seems to have problem to find information in the site and how to create evaluations and figure out if some already created evaluations, I'm gonna create this video to help you navigate the issue list. So my primary entrance to any evaluations is this issue list, which you just click on top over here, and then you see this table appearing with color codes. The color is defined by the status. So as long as it's active, it's white. When it needs review, it becomes yellow. When you close it, it becomes red. When it's evaluated, it becomes green. And there's also another color purple, which I can show you by searching for the status. So if I go for duplicate, you'll see purple. So when do you put something on duplicate? Duplicate is something only if there is a problem with another student and there's a conflict between two projects, or when I see that two projects look so similar that I think that it's just one project, then there's a conflict and we need to mediate this. So that's I do by using the status duplicate. Okay. So, but the most relevant is of course the stages need review. So I'll search for need review and you get a whole list of all the things that need review. Again, there's probably way too much to find. So the most important thing for the students is that you don't create more than 2 or 3 evaluations, and only 3 if there's really a problem with the previous 2 evaluations. So the first thing you want to figure out is how many evaluations are created for an issue. And you see on the right here, eval, and then 1 and 0. This refers to the amount of evaluations a certain issue has gotten. So what you can do is now it's you see the small arrow here. So now it's the list is organized by latest update. You can of course click on this eval here, and if you click on it, it will show you all the issues that don't have yet an evaluation because it's organized. You can see that in the URL. You see that it's organized asynchronically. So if you click on it again, now you see the issues which have more evaluations. So in this case, you see that there's again someone with 4 evaluations and several with 3 evaluations. So I can actually go and have a look at it by clicking on the number. I'll open it in a new tab. I jump to the list of all the issues, and now I can see that so there are 4 issues. Rating is more or less the same. So again, this shouldn't be a 3rd evaluation, and this definitely shouldn't be a 4th evaluation. So this will be rated bad. You see that there is no meta evaluation, so I will put them with a negative meta evaluation. The other thing I can see is the post date. I see that there's a day between it. There are days between it, you see. So it's not so that 2 issues were posted at the same time, which I also take into account. So in this case, I see that there clearly is a problem. Okay, so back to the issue list. The other thing, if you want to do an evaluation, so you can first of all make sure that always look at this number here, right? The second thing I want to show is like I'm gonna show you 3 issues. The main entrance to evaluate an issue is of course the issue page itself. So I'm gonna see this, so those are 2 Dutch, but don't worry about what is in it. I'll just want to show you the navigation. So I'm gonna open those 3 in new tabs. So this one, and this one. The first is one that needs review, the second one is evaluated, and the third is one that doesn't need review. So what you see here, if you go to the page, there's at the right side there is a navigation window. One of them is the list of evaluations. So you could click on this to also get to that list of evaluations, and you see that there's already 1 evaluation done. So I'll close this again. The second one is to create a new evaluation. If you click on this, you jump to the page with the issue selected properly, right? So you don't have to select in this terrible list. It's already selected for you, and you can simply do your evaluation. Don't forget, if you do your evaluation, if you don't know yet the things that you need to write for overall, for accuracy and so on, then keep a look over here to software for management course. All the tables, all the information is always linked over here. So if you click here, you get the guidelines, and you got final score, you got videos, and in the final score you can now also find tables. I'll just quickly show you. There's like the table of the total score and so on. So all information is over here. But let's get back to the issues. So this is an issue that needs review, right? Now, even if the second issue here, it's evaluated. So look at the difference between this list and this one. See now, there's no create issue because of course it's evaluated, but there's still the list of evaluations. While if you look at the third one, which is just active, of course it doesn't have any evaluation yet, it's still on 0, and you cannot create an evaluation on it. You can only create an evaluation when its status is need review. But if you go to the list there, there's nothing there. The only thing you can do here is add new comment. Okay, this is a very dynamic and useful way to navigate through the, well, depending on the different status and so. So let's go back one. So you can of course go here to the list of evaluations, right? But I'm going back to the one that needs review. First of all, if you want review, there is more over there. So that's first unread comment, most recent attachment. That's very important. In some cases, this so as when you upload your model, you upload it over here, right? There's a JPEG, it seems, and the Excel file, right? But then, of course, you may actually still be working on it, and later on put it on need review. And not in this case, but in some cases I see, oh yeah, I think in this case, yes, you see, there's a new attachment, and then it's put on need review. So then, of course, you don't review this attachment, right? You review the last attachment. And the way you do that is you can simply click over here to most recent attachment, and it will jump to the most recent attachment. So that makes it easier for you to find the Excel you need to look at. Also, once you put it on need review, I don't want to see any new comments. So this, you could create a new comment, but basically I don't like that. And definitely don't change statuses or so on. Once it's put on need review, there will be review. Once all the reviews are done, so let's click to the list of reviews. How many reviews are there now? So there's one review. So as soon as there are 2 reviews, you shouldn't do anything about it. Then it will get meta evaluated, and when it gets meta evaluated, it will get closed. So let me just go to all the lists that are evaluated, search. So evaluated is one other way to close a thing. Once it's evaluated, so once you put it on need review, you basically don't change status anymore. You don't close it, you don't, and also when it's put on evaluated, you don't close it. Closing you can only do if it's active and you say like it's not relevant anymore, I want to close it. So I've seen some people that closed evaluated list. Don't do that, because then you cannot jump to the list of evaluations. So I have to correct those problems. So I'm gonna jump to, let's first of all see one of the projects. So what happens if you click over here, you go to the issue. If you click over here, you go of course to a separate file with which are only the issues of a certain project. So if you want to examine a certain project, so those evaluations are, so those issues are closed and they were not evaluated, so that's okay. So I'll click on it just to show you that in this case there's no list anymore. If I quickly jump to, I'm pretty sure some people have done it wrong, so if I just go to closed search, so I've got all the closed ones, and now I select on eval. So this is something I will do later on. Go to all the issues that are closed and evaluated. You see 3 of them, 2 to 2. So basically they shouldn't be being closed, because now there's no way to jump to your list. So I have to correct that. Once they are evaluated, they shouldn't. They should get on evaluated. So then they should become green, right? So what do you see if so if I go to an issue that's evaluated, so I click on the title here, you see that the list is still there, and you can now look at the list, not just the rating, because that's something a student gave, but also the meta rating, which is only created by me, professor, and dedicated students that are still monitored. So we are really the persons that give scores, right? You just help us um, assist us in giving feedback. So this is actually an interesting case, right? So over here, once I have the issue, I click on the management model, I click on the data set, I open those files, look at them. I jump to the most recent attachment, I open these files, I look at everything, and then I come to this one. And I start looking at the files. So in this case, again, 2 evaluations, so different times. So what I expect now is that this evaluation also address the first evaluation. So you see the first has created good. This one says it's reasonable. So if I click on this one, I see I can't agree with the first evaluation. Now, okay, that's good. Good. So explain why, and so this is okay. Some things were different. So you see that I gave it a good rating. I actually didn't fully agree with this one, so I explained it a little bit, but this was good. This was good. And the nice thing about this is that if I would have wanted to rate this issue, I probably wanted to give something between reasonable and good, right? But because now there are 2 evaluations, it will be something between reasonable and good. And as you can see to the meta evaluation, you will see that it's actually closer to good than to reasonable. Oh no, sorry, it's closer to reasonable than it will be to good, because this one is meta rated higher. So this is a way we still have full control over it. Now, if I wouldn't agree at all, I can still create a third evaluation where I just give very quickly a few things, and I put a rating, and that will be your score. But then it's very it jumps very strictly. It's reasonable, poor. There's nothing between. Now we have ways to look at the things between it. So you see that the issue always needs to have a second evaluation. Now, sometimes you can also just, for example, take your closed this one, and you only have the evaluation to look at. You can still go back to the issue, of course, by clicking on the link above. So what you see is that basically the only thing I'm really using is the issue list and the issue itself to navigate. Now, take for example that this person here seems interesting. Yeah. So I want to have a look at this person. So now I'm jumping to the page of the person. At the moment, there's nothing there, and we probably don't have any time to do anything more here. But what you see over here are the evaluations and the issues. Oh, sorry, but the student don't see edit. It's because I'm the administrator. I can see edit. So you see the evaluations, issues, and you can contact the person. So if you really want to send the person an email, you can use this to send the person an email. But I can, for example, have a look at the issue the person created. Everyone can do that, right? So it's again the same table, but now it's ordered by owner. And what you see, it's not only this, I'm not going to try to pronounce it. So it's not just this user, there are other users. But so I organize it with users so you can have an idea of all these other issues. They would have a comment of this person. And over here you see the issues of this person itself. So then you see, so it organizes all the issues where this person has created or has commented on. So that allows you to give more control over your collaboration. You can also look at the evaluations, of course, and then you have an idea of is that person is there a good meta evaluation or not. Now, if you go to the course site, you will see that in the evaluations, I kind of also added a link so you can quickly jump to mine or the professor's evaluations and have a view on it. So if you click on this link, you jump basically to user one evaluation. So you jump to my evaluations. You can also see my issues, which of course are just the tutorial things I created earlier on. But let's go back to the evaluations. So in here you can actually, I organize it so that you see the meta evaluation. So that now you see all the people that have created good ratings, and you see that their meta evaluation, the rating of their meta evaluation is of course very different from the evaluation of the issue. It's totally independent, right? The only dependency is that if I say this is a good evaluation, then the weight of this overall will be stronger. That's the relation, but that's all. So you could, for example, have a look at this person, and I could, for example, go and have a look at Grendel and look at the evaluations over there and see what he has been doing and see that there are several that still need to be done and so on. But you could also, for example, use that to look at what are good evaluations. So you see that there's only one I've created as excellent. All of these are good, right? This one was excellent, and it was about an issue that wasn't that poor. So, but if you go to the issue, you see that so it's K. Meusens here, and you see that he really created he almost created a book about your issue. That's a lot of feedback, right? Yeah, it's in Dutch, so let me go to one that's in English. I think those are in English, like analyzing the Doxy model. All right, so this was a good evaluation. Again, there's a lot of text explaining things, and I don't just expect a lot of text in your evaluations. I also expect the text for your issues, because otherwise we don't really understand what they mean. So you saw that the analyzing of Doxy was actually one that was rated good, and it still got a good metascore. So it's not because you create a bad evaluation that you get a good metascore. It's because your rating is exactly what we expect as feedback to give to a certain issue. So in this case, if you want, so let me jump back over here to this overview. So depending on the overall evaluation, you always can go into detail. You can always like if it's poor, like, okay, let's go back to this one. So if it's poor, you see it's quite easy. You can say like, oh, you know, some things of persons are wrong, there's something wrong with this cell and this cell. You saw this formula, that's not exactly right. Okay, so that's what that's I see a lot of people doing that for bad issues. But what I expect for good issues, like let's see the one of Grendel here. So there's again also text relations to other parts of the model. So this was okay. Things about the what if and the hypertable. The one thing I would really like to see more is that if you even have a good model, that you still refer to a certain cell. Like if you see something in a table and you say this is really great, then in your evaluation say look at C13 or whatever, so that we actually see that you have been going to the model and what you find interesting about that model. So independent of a good or a bad score, you should always give detail about your evaluation. So the last thing I want to say is that we have added to the guidelines also a guideline for meta evaluation. Now, this guideline for meta evaluation is basically a way for us to help you understand what you will get on the meta evaluation. There are too many evaluations to do, so we will reduce the explanations we create on it, and we have now this these simple categories, right? And those will now show up in the comment of the meta evaluation, so that we just give a rating. We still give a rating between 1 and 5, right? But then we just use these words, and if you want to know more what it means, you can come back over here and have a look at it. And that's it what I wanted to say about the evaluations.